My grandpa died saying there was a fortune in the house. He meant the ugly brass spit can. When grandpa was dying, he grabbed my wrist, looked me dead in the eye, and rasped, "There's a fortune in this house, Mason. Don't let idiots find it first." Then he died before telling me where. I spent 3 straight days tearing his old place outside Placerville apart like a man possessed. Under floorboards, inside walls, under the mattress, in the freezer, behind the medicine cabinet, barn, porch, nothing. Just an old revolver with no bullets, broken clocks, poker chips, rusted Harley parts, and enough junk to fill a yard sale. Meanwhile, I was flat broke, bouncing between Sacramento and bad decisions. One of those decisions had a name, Derek Crow. Local loan shark. Smile like a snake. I owed him 10 grand that had somehow snowballed into a number that could bury a man alive. I needed that fortune like my life depended on it, because it did. The breakthrough happened because I was exhausted. Grandpa's ugly brass spit can still sat by his recliner. As a kid, I never touched it, too gross. He'd smack your hand and say, "Some things stay safe because people are too disgusted to mess with them." I knocked it over with my knee. A quarter slid out. On pure impulse, I dropped it back in. Clink. The king gave a sharp metallic cough and spit 2 quarters into my palm. I froze. Then I did it again. 1 quarter in, 2 out, a dime, 2 dimes, a silver dollar, 2 silver dollars. My heart started hammering. Grandpa's spit can wasn't a spit can. It was a duplicator. I didn't go straight for gold. I was panicking. I went with what Grandpa actually had everywhere. Loose change. Coffee cans, mason jars, cigar tins full of coins. 6 hours later, I had kitchen table stacks of duplicated coins. By morning, I loaded them into his rusted Ford Ranger and hid a Coinstar outside town. The girl at the register saw the total and said, "Somebody was saving up." I shrugged. Grandpa passed. Old man hoarded change like it was religion. I walked out with real money, warm in my hand for the first time in years. That was when the dangerous hope hit, and right behind it came the greed. That night I fed the Coinstar cash into the can. 5 grand became 10. 10 became 20. 20 became 40. For 30 beautiful seconds I thought I'd hacked life. Then I checked the bills. Same serial numbers on every single one. I wasn't rich. I was sitting on a mountain of evidence. That's when someone started pounding on the front door hard enough to rattle the frame. Derek Crow. And he hadn't come alone. He kicked the door open, saw the cash, and grinned. "Well, this is a hell of a surprise." I tried to lie. He laughed. Then greed killed his last working brain cell. I spun a story about my dad selling the Sacramento place. Told him if he tore up the note and walked away forever, he could take enough to call us square. Derek didn't hesitate. He grabbed way more than he was owed, ripped my IOU in half, and strutted out grinning like he'd robbed God. 3 days later his face was on the local news. Counterfeit investigation. Trunk full of identical bills. Federal charges. I laughed so hard I had to pull the truck over. This time I got smart. I took the real Coinstar money and drove to a bullion shop in Folsom. Tiny place. Buzzer. Polished glass. Of course the girl behind the counter was Cassidy Lane. My old crush. The one I'd bought the iPhone for right before she ghosted me. She recognized me and gave me that little smirk people do when they're trying not to laugh. "Mason? Didn't expect to see you in a place like this." I didn't answer. I just put the cash on the counter. That shut her up for 2 whole seconds. The owner came out. Sharp eyes. No attitude. I bought a 1-ounce gold buffalo round and some scrap jewelry. That night I dropped them into the brass can. Clink. Metallic cough. 2 gold rounds. Gold didn't care about serial numbers. Gold was gold. That was the beginning of the real fortune. I sold small. Different shops. Different cities. Set up an LLC. Paid taxes. Bought a safe so heavy the delivery guys cursed me out. I fixed my teeth, bought decent boots, rebuilt Grandpa's Harley, paid off Mom's mortgage, put a real headstone on Grandpa's grave. The farmhouse got a new roof, fresh paint, fixed fence. People started looking at me different. Cassidy texted twice after she heard I was doing really well. I left her on read. 6 months later I walked back into that same Folsom shop wearing a fitted black button-up, clean boots, and a watch that cost more than my old car. Cassidy stood up straight the second she saw me. No smirk. Instant politeness. The owner pulled me into the back office and offered me a partnership. I smiled and passed. Then I bought the building next door. 3 months later Reed Bullion and Coin opened. Cassidy applied for a job. I didn't hire her. Not for revenge. Just because I finally learned what Grandpa always knew. Shiny things and valuable ones aren't the same damn thing. About a year after he died I was cleaning the brass and when I found a folded note tucked under the felt lining. Grandpa's handwriting. "If you found this, curiosity finally beat disgust. Good. Means you might not be hopeless. Rule 1. Never duplicate cash. Only idiots print trouble. Rule 2. Duplicate value, not attention. Rule 3. Don't let greedy people live close to your magic." The fortune was never hidden in the house, boy. The fortune was the house. I sat there a long time with that note in my hand. He was right. The money changed everything. But the real inheritance was the second chance. The way out. The rule. Every now and then I drop a gold coin into that ugly brass can. Hear the soft metallic pop as it spits my life back out doubled. And I think about that old biker grinning somewhere beyond the dirt. He didn't leave me cash. He left me the one thing nobody else wanted to touch. And that's where the real fortune was hiding all along. Thanks for listening on Hidden Thread Teller. Like, follow, and share if you want more stories like this. It really helps the channel grow.